You gotta love when a build is the actual definition of going burr. This build will have you flying around with crazy movement speeds, mobbing and tanking with ease, and yes, you can even nuke any UVH5 boss. Mako's Buck here, and today let's go over Bullet Buddy Rafa. Kicking it off with our Vault Hunter, and we are going to be on Red Tree Rafa. This will grant us the action skill Peacebreaker Cannons. Rafa equips shoulder-mounted cannons which fire at enemies in front of him for a duration, dealing kinetic damage. Rafa comes with the passive Overdrive. Whenever you activate an action skill, he enters Overdrive, which is going to crank up our movement speed and increase our damage output for all sources. Moving down our skill tree, and we are going with 5 points into Shield Barriest, as this will pair best with the shield we will be using for our gear. We also already have a ton of fire rate and weapon damage from the build as a whole that we do not need to build further into it. Shield Barriest grants us increased shield recharge rate and improved shield regen delay while Overdrive is active. Next up is 5 points into Juerga. Whenever we crit an enemy, action skill duration is restored. This is obviously huge for mobbing. Speaking of mobbing, we are going with Instinto for mobbing alone. This gives our Peacebreaker Cannons increased crit hit chance, which pairs nicely with Juerga. As long as enemies are around, you will have infinite uptime on your action skill. Now for bossing, you will want to go into your skill tree and change your augment to Bullet Buddy Deluxe. While your action skill is active, you and any allies will regen ammo back into your magazine. Peacebreaker Cannons deal bonus incendiary damage, and your turrets shoot exploding bullets while your mag is full. Pressing your action skill button while Peacebreaker Cannons are active will allow you to shoot an infinite amount of bullets without reloading while your action skill is up. This is obviously insanely good for bossing. And lastly, for our points into Red Tree, we are going with 4 points into Resiliencia, granting us increased damage reduction whenever Overdrive is active. Our remaining points for Rafa will be going into his blue skill tree. We will be going with 5 points into Las Jaras. While Overdrive is active, Rafa will regenerate ammo. 5 points into the Thrill, which grants us a 21% increase to our rate of fire and another 14% while Overdrive is active, and 1 point into Metal Management. Whenever we activate or re-trigger our action skill, we will consume no ammo for 2 seconds. Moving on to 4 points into El Centro, Rafa gains increased handling and action skill handling while Overdrive is active. The longer the Overdrive is active, the greater the bonus. Moving down to 5 points into Brain Dump, which is going to give our weapons at base 15% crit chance while Overdrive is active. 5 points into El Soldado, which is going to give us 30% gun damage while Overdrive is active. And for our last 10 points, we are going with 5 points into Jaque. Whenever Rafa damages an enemy with a skill, he gains a stack of Jaque. For every stack of Jaque, he gains increased Overdrive bonuses. We gain 2.5% per stack, and this can stack up to 20 times. And our last 5 points are going into Deadline, which grants us 15% more increased fire rate and 25% reload speed whenever Overdrive is active. Now that our skill trees are set up, let's get into the specialization tree and firmware. Our specialization passives are going to be Riddle You This. Whenever you deal gun damage, you gain a stack of Riddle You This, which increases gun damage. Stacks are lost if a new stack has not been gained for a duration. You can gain a maximum of 50 stacks, and each stack grants 1% gun damage for a total of 50% at max stacks. Think of this like the Striker gear set from The Division. Our next passive will be In the Zone. While aiming, you gain increased gun damage and critical hit damage per second. Bonuses are lost after 2 seconds of not aiming. You gain 5% to gun damage and crit damage while aiming and can stack up to 5 times. Next up is Now with Caffeine, which reduces our action skill cooldown by 25% every time we use our Repkit, and I Am a Gun, which lets our action skill benefit from gun damage buffs. In order to unlock these passives, you will need at least 20 points into Brute, 10 points into Sharpshooter, and 10 points into Daredevil. Our firmware for this build is going to be 3 pieces of Deadeye, which grants 30% gun accuracy, 25% additional crit damage, and the 3-piece grants every critical hit, grants 15% crit damage per stack for 10 seconds, and can stack up to 5 times. Our remaining 2 pieces of firmware are going to be 2-piece high caliber, which grants 25% projectile speed and 10% multiplicative gun damage. This is huge for our damage output. Now let's get into our gear and weapons, starting with gear, and we are going with the triple bypass Repkit. This Repkit comes with heart pump, giving us 3 Repkit charges and a 30% chance to replenish a charge on kill. This pairs nicely with our specialization passive, now with Caffeine. Our class mod is going to be the legendary Dancer mod. Overdrive bonuses are increased by 100%. Overdrive ends when our action skill ends. You're going to want your class mod to have a +1 to Soltado and plus points into Termario. These 2 nodes are going to massively boost our overdrive and gun damage. Our shield is going to be Watts for Dinner, which comes with Overshield Eater. When energy shield is active, enemies have a 12% chance to drop an overshield on kill. When you have an overshield, you gain 25% shock damage on your weapons, which is just a nice free layer of damage over time. I am pairing this with the perk Siphon, which gives us a 5% chance to gain an overshield when dealing damage, and recharge rate, which gives us 30% shield recharge rate. Pairing this with Shield Barriest and Resiliencia on our red skill tree is just going to make us super tanky and borderline unkillable. Our enhancement is going to be a legendary Jakobs enhancement with Sequencer. Guns with Jakobs grant consecutive critical hits a stacking plus 5% bonus for a maximum of 8 stacks. My enhancement also has Bounce Pass, which gives us an extra ricochet on Jakobs weapons, which is super nice for mobbing. You'll want forms of extra damage on your enhancement as well. Mine has bonus to gun damage and gun crit damage. Speaking of all this loot, if you're ever looking for any god rolls, non-modded of course, my Discord has a Borderlands 4 looking for loot section where you can let people know what you're looking for, and 9 times out of 10 someone will have it and give it to you. I'll drop a link to the Discord in the description of the video below. And lastly, for gear, your ordnance for this build truly does not matter at all. In all of these clips, you can see me never using it, so just use whatever gives you your firmware bonuses. And let's wrap this video up with what's best in slot for weapons for this build. For mobbing, I'm using the Hot Slugger Legendary Shotgun. This one is pretty easy to farm as you only need it to drop 1 time since every roll is the exact same. It will always come with the exact same damage and Jakobs, which makes critical hits ricochet at nearby enemies. And it has the perk Blazing Barrel. On kill, deal plus 30% damage for 10 seconds, stacking up to 3 times. Paired with all of the buffs we get from Rafa's Overdrive, this just makes this weapon an easy one-tap run-and-gun option for mobbing. I've also been having fun with a Jakobs roll of the legendary assault rifle, the GMR. This thing pumps out a ton of damage but shoots very slow. Overdrive makes this thing feel fantastic, plus I have the shiny version so I kind of have to use it. As for our bossing weapon, we are going with the legendary shotgun, the Bod. Bod comes with the perk All-Arounder, which makes this weapon count as shotgun damage, AR damage, sniper damage, pistol damage, and SMG damage. This makes it pretty easy to grant this weapon damage bonuses from multiple sources. Mine also has Torque Sticky, Hyperion Amp Shield, and can fire in SMG mode, which is what I would call the 3 out of 3 god roll on this weapon for this Rafa build. If you want to swap your enhancement while bossing, you can swap it to a Daedalus enhancement with accelerator and 3 different types of weapon damage on it, but this isn't needed at all currently. Just a reminder that this entire video is timestamped if you feel like you missed something or want to jump around. If you like this video, be sure to hit that thumbs up, subscribe, and turn those notifications on. See you next time.